What is up, beautiful souls? And I'm struggling to get this reading out. It's really, I feel like it's so simple, but I'm struggling to communicate it. I'm going to try one more time. I've sat with the energy. I've got my downloads. I've got the cards. I've meditated on them. And we'll just start. I'm going to tell you what I picked up right from the very beginning. It was this energy of an alchemist, the high priestess and the magician, that kind of energy. It's a very powerful person, not because of the world, what the world sees, which is actually a rather humbled individual, but still powerful in ways that the person may not fully recognize within themselves. They're tapped in, tuned in, this person is. Their intuition, amongst other senses, are laser sharp. And then I hear claircognizance, the knowing without knowing. A strong knowing that defines any logic. What a gift that many have to practice, but I feel like comes pretty natural to you. This person also has seen some very dark times, which has left them tattered in a beautiful mess. The significance of this is you can't know one without the other. While many humans play out a life of mediocrity to avoid pain, they also avoid true pleasures. No, not this person. This person has learned the art of surrender. They no longer try to push for anything, but rest in the flow of what is. They have cried an innumerable amount of tears. Still, like every cycle of life, there's an innate knowing. Even this too shall pass. The capacity this individual has to hold the high to the low frequency of emotion comes also with a reminder that so long as the energy continues to flow, so does change. Moreover, this comes with a strong reminder. Your destiny is not, nor ever has been, about the destination. So I've gone ahead and I've pulled some cards and I've been meditating on it. And what I'm encapsulating with this, just right from the very get-go, is the underlining energy of the Five of Tassels, the Five of Cups, but in reverse. Feels like that's all the energy I just finished downloading. It's the ability to take the wisdom from the fallen cups, to learn from it, and see that there's two other cups still available. You can pick it up and move forward. It's no longer wallowing in the pain, but knowing how to move through it. It's that alchemist, it's that high priestess, this innate knowing of the way the cycles of life go. So we pull the card that best represents you at the heart of the spread. And it comes with the fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel, but it comes in reverse. Represents his throat chakra, indicating there's a block as it comes in reverse. The inability to speak a truth, hesitancy, withholding, and what gets me the most about this is probably that you have the discernment that most people don't. So when you use your words, I think they're thoughtful. But with this coming up as the heart of the spread, I can't help but feel you're hesitant or fearful of hurting another's feelings. Hesitant and scared of what others might think. Hesitant and scared that you might be seen. See, your crossing energy comes with the Judgment and the Chariot. And as I continue to meditate on it, I keep on hearing boundaries. Boundaries. There's so much you can learn about boundaries. One, it's foreign to most people. I mean, try to put a boundary out there and see how offended people can get or taken back until they have a moment to really resonate with it, right? either it's like one of two ways people reciprocate this energy when you lay a boundary. It's either one like, whoa, I never meant to offend you. Yeah, like, I love you, bro. I love you. I didn't mean to, like, I'll honor your boundary. Or else there's the other side where people feel like they're entitled. And how dare you put down a boundary, and they can push your boundary or step over your boundaries. But the reason that can happen is because with boundaries, you have to have a very thick line in the sand. Boundaries are unique to other people, to all people, right? But you have got to know what your boundaries are, and you have got to be able to voice it. And it's a discernment. And something beautiful I learned years ago. In order to know your boundaries, it's that parallel energy, right? Knowing the lows from the highs. It's anything that's too intrusive or a little too intimate. If anything crosses those lines, anything that's too intrusive for you will be different maybe for me. But that's completely fine, because that's your boundary. Anything that's a little too intimate, maybe a little bit different for me, different for you. That's the significance of this. They're not going to be the same for everybody, but you've got to know it. Moreover, you've got to stand and put that thick line. But I feel like you're hesitant. I think you know what you want, right? You don't want that. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. Nobody wants to be taken for granted. Moreover, I feel like is this hesitancy, to put a boundary is very courageous, because it says, you know what? I matter. And when you say I matter, you say I'm worth being seen. And that's scary sometimes. It's easier to slide in the back. It's easier to let people take advantage of you. It's easier to keep your mouth shut. But is it really easier? And is that the life you came to experience? And are you possibly on the destiny path of the journey where you are learning to implement this? Because when I ask what's really going on, like what's the problem, what's the scenario, we have the 7 of Wands from your perspective, which tells me you feel that you always have to be on guard, that you've got to defend something and work so hard for something. And I ask, is that necessary if you spoke your truth? If you laid a engraved deep line of boundaries of your expectations and what you will tolerate, would you be walking the fine line of trying to defend something upon another? Well, again, losing maybe sight of what is considered compromise versus sacrifice. This is a discerning energy, and I feel like you can understand this if you've embodied it. Now it's your opportunity to express it. Because when I ask Spirit, what's the real problem behind this? Like, what, from Spirit's point of view, I feel like they're almost kind of chuckling, right? It's that higher point of view. There is absolutely more, it's more than anything a gift. When you are able to speak your boundaries and to know them and be firm, those who care about you, those who will take a step back and respect you, will honor that. And it comes with the 3 of Cups. It's celebration. It's people that you want to be around. Those that love you, those that honor you. That's who you want in your life. Why would you be so hesitant to lose somebody that disrespects you, that doesn't care about your boundaries, or else thinks that they're entitled to your energy? And whatever kind of manipulation or guilt trip or gaslighting, again, unless you're firm, those are the type of people that will keep on pushing your line. And they'll try to get you to compromise until you sacrifice, because you end up crossing that line of either too intrusive or too intimate. And I feel like Spirit's saying the real problem is seeing the blessing that comes by stepping in your truth and speaking, especially that of your boundaries, and understanding the discernment of where your boundaries lay. So what's the guidance? Comes with the Page of Swords. Now the Page of Swords is a messenger. Moreover, no is a full sentence. You don't have to explain yourself. And maybe people will want an explanation. It's not necessary, but I feel like you have the capacity, if you choose to explain it in a way that those who do care will comprehend it. That will take it all in, and maybe, this is the beautiful thing about boundaries. Boundaries can change, but I emphasize that when you make your boundaries, you need to be self-assured and in alignment with yourself when you do this. Otherwise, people will try to get you to compromise or push or this or that, and that's when you can end up sacrificing because that line gets crossed, right? But through deep debate and through deep wisdom and through deep understanding in this ability, which I feel like you have because you have that wisdom, in speaking your truth, you have the ability to change perspectives. You have the ability to make your own ripple and people going, huh, I never thought about it that way. And what a disservice by keeping all that beautiful knowledge to yourself. That's how we learn, is through expression. We're all intertwined. We're all connected. If we can just be open to hear. So what's the final outcome? It comes with the Ace of Wands, but it comes in reverse. So I can't help but feel like this is something, obviously, if you haven't mastered it, something you've been challenged in doing probably your whole life. Because I promise you, once you establish boundaries and you implement it, it gets easier and easier and easier. But I feel like Spirit's coming out with the ultimate, like the potential outcome with it being in reverse. You keeping your throat chakra closed is a disservice to others. It's a disservice to you. You have every right for your aspirations. You have every right to your boundaries. You matter. You deserve to be seen. And that may make you vulnerable, but you are so protected. And I feel like that's the possible outcome. I feel like that Spirit's saying, get off of this path. It's time to take a leap into the uncomfortableness and go back to the way Spirit sees it. Right? Who do you want to surround yourself with? People that don't really care about you, or your community, that your soul tribe that gets it, loves you and honors you. And then we pulled a card from Love and Light, my oracle, and it came out with, be the love you wish to receive. I'll go ahead and read it, and then I'm going to just kind of give it my finished discernment of it all, because I think this reading is very much about discernment of energies, and for you to understand that. But how did Jesus show up for us? Be the love you wish to receive. The true path to a fulfilling life begins with allowing God to work through us and bless all whom we meet. Scripture teaches us that we're to be a vessel that God can work through to touch others. God works in us, and God's river of mercy flows through us to humanity. Jesus is a role model of selfless servitude to God. He didn't come here to see only to himself. Rather, his heart was set on showing up as a servant of love to multitudes. He served out of love because that's what was coursing through his veins, his Father's love. As we grow closer to Jesus, we become more like him. The peace and love that we feel is certainly wonderful, and the blessings we receive are amazing. But to keep all that to ourselves is not the will of God. So extend yourself, dear one. Give freely to others what you have received from your Heavenly Father. Be a servant. Go the extra mile. Encourage the brokenhearted and pray for the sick. Be generous. When you give your time, resources, and money, not only are others blessed, but also goodness returns to you in many ways. Proverbs 11:25. The generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. But when I take this all into account, I think about your original downloads, your wisdom, and I feel like a broken record when I say that, the wisdom, but it is wisdom, right? You can't gain wisdom without experience. You've experienced you've experienced much. And there's a ripple effect when you stand in the truth, your truth, and if it's boundaries, your truth of what is too intimate or too intrusive, you teach others to do the same. We learn so much from the Ascended Master Jesus because he lived the life of selflessness, but he understood the discernment of the two parallels. And what I want to end it with is this. Jesus was assertive, not to be misconstrued as aggressive. He could still hold his boundaries and share his wisdom through love. There's a loving way to do it all. You, my friend, don't have to take the discernment that you've learned from your highs and lows of the frequencies. Understand what is intrusive, what is too intimate. Understand that there is a difference between compromise and sacrifice. And please understand you can be assertive without being aggressive. No is a complete sentence. And you have so many ways, beautiful ways, that I think that you are just hesitant. But if you started to practice, you could communicate this in such a loving way and make the ripple effect. Challenge people's thoughts and maybe see things a little bit differently. That's what I got for you, loved ones. Hope that resonates. I hope that got some nuggets of wisdom there. I think you have it. I think you just need to, and I think it's embodied in you. It's innate. I just think you have to implement it. I think you have the tools, the know-all. Avoid being stagnant. Keep that flow of energy that you recognize. That flow comes with change. You are on your destiny, but it's not a destination. And until next time, I love you guys so much. Mwah! Namaste.